Imagine you walk into a doctor's office. You sit down and say, "I have pain." The doctor looks at you and says, "Where? Since when? What kind of pain? Does it get worse at night? Do you have any other symptoms?" Why does the doctor ask all these questions? Because without that information, even the best doctor in the world cannot help you properly. Now imagine you walked in and gave the doctor your full history, your age, your lifestyle, where the pain is, when it started, what makes it better or worse. Suddenly the doctor does not need to guess. They know, and the advice they give you is completely different, specific, accurate, and actually useful. This is exactly what context does to your AI prompts. And most people are walking into the doctor's office saying, "I have pain," and wondering why the advice feels generic. Welcome back to the Art of Prompting. This is episode 3. Let me tell you about two content creators, Samira and David. Both of them run small YouTube channels. Both are trying to grow their audience. Both decide to ask AI to help them write a video script about productivity tips. Samira types her prompt quickly. She has watched episode 2 and she is being specific. She mentions the topic, the length, the tone, and the audience age group. She feels confident. Her result is good, clean, well structured. But something about it feels borrowed, like it could belong to any productivity channel anywhere in the world. There is nothing in it that feels like her channel, her audience, or her unique voice. David does something different before he types a single word. He tells the AI who he is. He tells it that his channel is specifically for college students in India who are struggling to manage studies, part-time work, and social life at the same time. He tells it that his audience responds to humor and real talk, not corporate advice. He tells it that his last 3 most popular videos were about exam stress, hostel life, and time management hacks. What David gets back does not just feel like a productivity script. It feels like it was written for his channel by someone who has been watching it for months. Same topic, same AI, same task. The difference was not specificity alone. It was context. Alright, let us step into the classroom. In episode 1 we learned the 3 building blocks, task, context, and format. In episode 2 we went deep into specificity. Today we unlock the second building block, context, and understand why prompt engineers call it the hidden intelligence multiplier. Here is the simplest way to understand what context does. Think of the AI as a brilliant new colleague who has just joined your team. They are incredibly talented. They know everything about the subject, but they have never met your clients. They do not know your company culture. They do not know your history. They do not know what has worked before and what has failed. If you hand this colleague a task without any background, they will do their best. But their best will be a stranger's best. Technically correct but emotionally disconnected from your actual situation. Now imagine you sit down with this colleague for 20 minutes before giving them the task. You explain your team, your clients, your goals, what has worked, what has not, how your audience thinks and feels. Now when they do the task, it feels completely different. It feels like it belongs to you. That 20-minute conversation is context. Context is not just background information. Context is the intelligence you bring to the AI before it starts working. And the more relevant context you give, the more intelligent the output becomes. That is why it is called a multiplier. It does not just add to the quality of the response. It multiplies it. Now let me give you 5 types of context that transform any prompt. The first is who you are, your role, your profession, your background. Are you a student, a business owner, a developer, a teacher? This changes how the AI frames its answer. The second is who this is for, your audience. Their age, their background, their knowledge level, their problems. This changes the language and depth of the response completely. The third is your situation. What is happening right now that makes this request necessary? A deadline, a problem to solve, an opportunity to capture. Situation gives the AI urgency and direction. The fourth is your history or preferences. What has worked before? What tone you prefer? What style fits your brand or personality? This makes the response feel personal rather than generic. The fifth is your goal. Not just the task, but the deeper outcome you want. Do you want to inform, persuade, entertain, build trust? The goal shapes everything about how the AI structures its response. Who you are, who this is for, your situation, your history, your goal. Add even two of these to a prompt and watch the output transform from something generic into something that feels like it was made specifically for you. Now look at this example. This is actually a decent prompt. It has a task, some specificity, a tone, a length, and an audience. Samira would be happy with this. And the result will be clean and usable. But here is the problem. Thousands of YouTube channels could use this exact script. There is nothing in this prompt that tells the AI who Samira is, what her channel stands for, what her audience specifically struggles with, or what makes her voice different from every other productivity creator on YouTube. The AI fills those gaps with average assumptions. And average assumptions produce average output. Now look at the difference. The task is identical. The specificity is similar. But look at what has been added underneath. David told the AI who his audience is at a deep level. Not just their age but their actual life situation. He told it what tone works for them. He referenced his own past content. And he stated his deeper goal. Not just to inform but to make students feel understood. The AI now has a complete picture. And what it produces will not just be a good script. It will be David's script. That is the power of context. These 5 types of context are your intelligence multipliers. You do not need to use all 5 every time. Even 2 or 3 will transform your output. Think of it this way. Every type of context you add is one less assumption the AI has to make on your behalf. And every assumption you eliminate brings the output one step closer to exactly what you need. This is why prompt engineers call context the hidden multiplier. It does not just improve the response. It changes the entire nature of what comes back. So where does context change everything in the real world? For HR professionals, instead of asking AI to write a job description, adding context about the company culture, the team this person will join, the kind of problems they will solve, and the growth opportunities available, turns a generic listing into something that attracts the right candidate. For teachers, instead of asking AI to create a lesson plan on fractions, adding context about the grade level, the specific misconceptions that students in this class have shown, and the teaching style that has worked so far, produces a lesson plan that feels designed for that specific classroom. For entrepreneurs, instead of asking AI to write a pitch for their product, adding context about the investor's background, the market problem they care about most, and the stage of the startup, produces a pitch that speaks directly to that room. For customer support teams, instead of asking AI to write a response to a complaint, adding context about the customer's history, the nature of the complaint, the company's service policy, and the tone the brand uses, produces a response that feels human and on-brand rather than robotic. In every case, context is not extra effort. It is the shortcut. Because the time you spend giving context upfront is always less than the time you spend fixing a response that missed the mark. Open any AI tool right now and try this. Write a short motivational message for someone who is feeling stuck in their career. Give context. The person is a 28-year-old working professional in a mid-level role who feels their growth has plateaued. They are hardworking but have stopped believing their efforts are noticed. They need to feel seen and encouraged, not lectured. The message will be shared privately by a manager to their team member. Keep it under 80 words. Warm and genuine tone. After reading the response, remove the entire context section and run the same prompt again. Read both responses side by side. The first will feel like it was written for one specific person. The second will feel like it was written for everyone, which means it was written for no one. Key takeaways. Context is the background intelligence you give AI before it starts working. Without context, the AI fills your gaps with average assumptions. The 5 types of context are who you are, who this is for, your situation, your history, and your goal. Context does not just add to output quality, it multiplies it. The time spent adding context upfront is always less than fixing a response that missed the mark. Before you move to the next episode, here is your exercise. You are given this prompt with no context. Exercise. Prompt without context given to you. Write an email to a client about a project delay. Your job is to add context using at least 3 of the 5 types: who you are, who this is for, your situation, your history, and your goal. Think carefully. What kind of professional are you? Who is the client? What caused the delay? What is the relationship like? What outcome do you need from this email? Write your version first. Then run it in any AI tool. After that, compare it with this example. Exercise. Example with context. Write a professional but warm email to a client about a project delay. Context. I am a freelance web designer. My client is a small bakery owner who is not very technical and has been very patient throughout the project. The delay is due to a revision in their brand colors that required redesigning 3 key pages. Our relationship is friendly and informal. My goal is to be honest about the delay, reassure them the quality will be worth the wait, and give them a clear new timeline. Keep it under 150 words. Compare both results. Notice how the version with context reads like a real email written by a real person in a real situation. That is not the AI being smarter. That is you being clearer. You now understand context. You know the 5 types. And you have seen how adding the right background information transforms an average AI response into something that feels personally crafted. But here is something that will make you think. You can have a perfect task, sharp specificity, rich context, and still, the output lands in your hands looking like a wall of text. Unstructured, hard to read, impossible to use directly. Why? Because you never told the AI how to present what it knows. In the next episode, we unlock the 3rd and final building block, format. We learn how to shape, structure, and design AI outputs so they are not just accurate. They are ready to use the moment they appear on your screen. No more editing walls of text. No more reformatting responses for an hour. Just clean, structured, professional output every single time. See you in episode 4.
Learning something new every day, that is a choice only a few people make. You just made it. Like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to School of Intelligence. Your next lesson is one click away.